I'm here with Matt and Wes from Ra Ra Riot. Fellas, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks. Nice to see you.
For having us.
You guys got a new record, Beta Love. I'm guessing, if I had to, most of your interviews have probably been about this nice little sound change that's been going on so far.
It's been touched upon.
Yeah, I bet it has. What is so surprising? And I guess that's because I was thinking about other bands who've tried that and why it becomes such a big issue, because it's one thing to ask a band to always stay the same. And I don't know if that's because some bands can't get outside of the box. Because to try to write in a completely different way than you ever have, I mean, that's to put a whole new mindset to it. You know, and then for you guys to say, okay, we're gonna do this, for whatever reason, why? I mean, when it comes to the songwriting, is it kind of like that, to say, we're gonna try this, and we've gotta do this different than we ever have? Or are you taking a template that you did before to say, how do we put that in these more, you know, to generalize it, synthier sounds, more dance pop, or whatever you're going for?
I guess it's more the former. Yeah, we definitely changed I think part of the impetus for the change was feeling like the process was becoming restrictive, as much as the actual like end sound was becoming restrictive as well. So we wanted to change the process from the get-go, you know. So that can have a bigger impact if you follow through on it.
Yeah, I can't name any of the bands off the top of my head, but it seems like there's an interesting history with album threes for a lot of bands, that you establish yourself and then you do your follow-up and you're trying to continue that, and then suddenly it's like it's time for something different. You guys, I mean, it's not like it's the first time you've had up-tempo music. I mean, you guys have always had even danceable music, but suddenly with this, you know, that word really comes into play, you know, with a dance record. And I guess there is that lexicon that comes along with that. With what it ended up being, and I guess especially lyrically, do you guys see it as a concept record? Because I mean, there's no central character or anything like that playing into it, but there's an idea, I guess, right? Yeah,
I don't think we have looked at it as a concept record, but it's definitely, certainly there's a strong conceptual theme running through it, and one that's not like one that I've ever written about lyrically, or it kind of maybe is slightly unusual themes. So I can see how people would think it doesn't offend me to say that it's a concept record.
But when you're going into it, and I guess that it is influenced, the record is influenced. You know, are you looking for something to say, I mean, the word's got to come from somewhere, you know, and here's an idea, and, you know, so everything has to fit in that idea. And I know for some artists that can be terrible because you're on one motion, but also for other artists that's really liberating, I guess. Yeah,
it was kind of like, you know, part of the attitude change in making this record was, well, I want to write about things that maybe previously I had been afraid to do, or you know, things that I just am interested in. So, so that's kind of why these sort of, at points I'd be thinking, oh, is this too silly? Is this too silly to be writing about? And in the past, I would have said yes, definitely, change the lyrics. But for this case, I just kind of felt like, well, you know, and I was encouraged by my bandmates, and you know, to just kind of go with it.
Because you guys have to kind of get behind this. I mean, I guess you're speaking for them in a way, so everybody's kind of be on board and say, oh, is this going to become like Mr. Roboto, or is it going to, you know, that tour sticks apart.
Right. But I definitely run, you know, I ran all this, particularly by Matt, I like I like to bounce ideas off him and hear his thoughts. And yeah, it's still a group effort, you know. It's like, you know, I get feedback, and there's some words that Matt contributed, but you know, it's a complicated process, I guess.
And it's like part of like being in a band is like everyone sort of is, you know, you add your like individual voice, but you're sort of conscious of like the overall you know, result that's developing. But But yeah, I think with like, with this record, we're all excited. We're like, oh, like, what are you playing on this? Oh, you're playing that synth? That sounds cool. Cool, go for it. Oh, like, what's this song about? Oh, this is about like Singularity. Oh, that's awesome. You should write the song about that. And so it was like fun for all of us to like, to all like buy into this new attitude together. But it's kind of funny because in the past, our first two records, to me, have like sort of strong themes and like overarching concepts, but those didn't come about until like way after the fact. Until we decided on the name of the record, which usually was the last thing that we did, and once we had a sequence of the songs, then it sort of then we could sort of see a theme. We're like, oh, this is what this album's about. Okay, but when we were making this album, we had a lot of the ideas ahead of time, which was different for us. But yeah, I don't think we necessarily made a concept record, but
yeah, also there's always songs that kind of don't fit, for us at least, for the last our three records. There's always songs that don't really fit in, but if they're in a place where you can put them in a place in the record that is not as noticeable, that they don't fit in. But I don't think I could write a whole record's worth of lyrics on just one.
Like the opera's not coming anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, it's fun. It was really fun to try and write in different voices, specific characters, that I hadn't done before. But there's always a couple of songs that are completely unrelated, but probably too good to just leave out.
I think even Tommy has some of those. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the Sgt. Pepper's is like a great. It's a concept record because the first two songs set it up, and then the rest of it is kind of just because I said so.
Anything you can, yeah. You mentioned the Singularity, and that goes back to, I guess, what the album was kind of informed from. Kurzweil?
Kurzweil, yeah.
Kurzweil, yeah. Explain this a little bit before we get into it. So you guys were reading, and he's a futurist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That I was reading a book that he wrote called The Singularity is Near when we were working on our second album, The Orchard, actually. And it was just kind of like, I don't know, it was a book that really interested me. I don't have much of like a science background, but I do like reading books like that from time to time. And Wes was actually a science major in school, so it's fun to like, we
college student who finally gets to use their major.
Yeah, who says his education doesn't come into play in your life? So we like got really into this book. We were talking about it a lot, and just about the ideas in it, and yeah, when it came time to start working on this record, we had been sort of talking about this book for the past couple of years, and it was still like on the front of our minds. So we were like, let's just go with it. Let's just explore these themes. Why not? Because it's interesting to us. So why force yourself to look somewhere else? When like this is right here.
Presenting itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's something like that, and so you kind of get this idea of where a human meets robot and starts being intertangled, and I guess the humanity of it all versus that coldness. Mm-hmm. But it would seem to me when you're writing stuff like this, you've still got to. There's something personal that still has to come through. Is that right? I mean,
yeah, definitely.
And it makes me wonder: is like, are you experiencing any of that? Here's 2013. We're in the land of technology, and for everything that gives and everything it takes. But you've got to find a way to relate, I guess.
Yeah. It can't be strictly about computation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was fun for us, and I imagine fun for you because it was a way to sort of explore some of like the same themes that we had made songs about before, but in sort of like a new light and new perspective. But yeah, is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, I think it was just like even though we were sort of talking about these kind of like crazy ideas, like when technological evolution surpasses biological evolution, and sort of, once that point happens, what's that going to mean for for like the simple things that we take for granted, like just being able to like be creative or like be in love or experiencing the good and the bad of the emotional spectrum.
Well, Beta Love is this awesome, cool thing, you know, and unexpected. I mean, I think it did catch everyone off guard with it.
Yeah.
So well done, Hughes.
Thank you.
Matt, Wes, it's been a pleasure catching up.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
I'll see you.